Rajiv Chandrasekhar, President of FICCI, joins us now with the industry's wish list. Rajiv, many thanks for joining us. Let me begin by asking you, it's become extremely clear now that there will be some fiscal stimulus measures in this interim budget. What are your expectations? Stick your neck out. What could we see in terms of sector-specific targeted measures?
Our expectation is that given the fact that the first two stimulus packages haven't really worked, and the reason that they haven't worked is because they've been structured around indirect taxation with excise duties and all of that. We believe that the third stimulus package, if there is one, should focus on direct taxation as a way of putting money back in the hands of consumers, A, and B, getting some investment flows restarted. So we look at the third stimulus package as being direct taxation led.
You know, Rajiv, there is an argument that it may not be proper to tweak around with direct tax changes because this is a vote on account. Do you hold that view? Although there is no constitutional bar, it's only a question of convention and tradition.
The background is that there is an economic crisis, and I don't think issues of convention or protocol or all of that should come in the way of restarting the economy. There is clearly a need for this economy to be restarted, and if we sit on the sidelines and quibble about the I's and the T's being dotted and crossed, we will let this economy slide into a position where there will be too much collateral damage to the real economy.
Right, Rajiv, now in the earlier two stimulus packages, we did see measures where we saw CNBC being cut drastically. Do you see something on those lines as far as especially the excise duty structure is concerned this time around?
I think this is part of the problem that I have been arguing against, this whole gradualist approach to addressing this problem. I don't think there is no merit in a gradualistic approach. There is a need to take this problem head on. There is a need to address the issues of putting money back in and bringing back confidence with the consumer. And there is a clear objective of that whole depth of demand issue being addressed. And there is a need to get the investment flows started again. So there are clearly 2 or 3 clear objectives that require direct intervention, direct action. Fiscal action is what is required now. The time and date for the monetary policy action is long gone. And fiscal action should have the result of getting this thing started.
All right, Rajiv, so leave us with your top priorities, the 3-4 things that you would like to see happening on the interim budget from the government side.
For example, one of the arguments about credit markets being frozen still and not enough credit going down to the borrowers, the corporate borrowers, despite the banks having money, is that the banks are risk averse. So let's assume for a minute that part of the problem is risk aversion, and that can't be solved by any fiscal step. But there is clearly another argument that banks today are finding a mismatch between the cost at which they've historically borrowed and the cost at which they're being asked to lend. Now, there is a possibility for the government to step in and say, we will give you a 3% interest subsidy. Now, 3% on 100,000 crores is 3,000 crores. It's huge bang for the buck. These are the kinds of direct intervention that the government must take if they have any interest in restarting the economy.
Rajiv, at this point in time, apart from fiscal measures, there are some noises that the RBI may act as well with some monetary measures post the interim budget. Do you expect that to happen?
I genuinely believe that this is not a problem anymore for monetary policy to solve. It was a problem 8 months ago. We did not move at that time. It's far little and far too late for the RBI to be trying to solve this problem. And for the government to be expecting the RBI's monetary policies to solve this problem is a bit delusional. This is clearly squarely in the playground, if you want to call it that, of the government, and it has to be a set of fiscal measures that will solve this problem and that will get the real economy restarted.
One final question. The fisc at the moment is already under pressure. The FRBM targets have not been met. What kind of problems do you see the new government inheriting?
Yeah, Harsha, but we are already in that position. I think we are fiscally stretched. With subsidies, we are with loan waivers and the fertilizer bonds and the oil bonds, we are fiscally stretched as it is. That's a given. The point here is not a choice between further fiscal profligacy and something else. The choice is fair and center, how to restart the real economy without letting it decline further. And for that, if the cost is that you have to be fiscally a lot more stretched from where you are today, so be it. There is really no other option.
All right, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, many thanks for joining us with your expectations for the interim budget.